Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I just want to say that there is so much going on in this planet, and so many people are awakening and are lost and confused. Others of you are still emotional, judgmental, and have all kinds of issues emotionally. And so I'm just here to enlighten you, to have you see things in a different way, with different eyes, with a different view, and to feel it in your heart to see if it matches your truth. So today is about age is just a number. Have you ever asked yourself, where do all these rules come from so-called society? It's amazing to me that so many people have no problem following rules from society, which are phony made-up rules, or negative inputs from religious services that don't have your best interest at heart. And nobody asks for proof. You all just decide that that's the gospel. Ask yourself why you think that. Because what I do, people want to have proof. I can't prove anything to you. I can only show you and teach you a different way to think, and then you can just go prove it to yourself. Because that's what I did. I get all my information from my spirit guides, and they pick the topics of my videos. And if you listen to my poetry, which I also post on YouTube, that comes from them too. And my poetry is very powerful because my guides know what you all need to hear. And I'm just their speaker. Put it to you that way. So anyway, age is just a number. And you know what's really funny about this? When I was a child, I was the youngest, and my mother was big about age. I mean, I had a sister who's like 3 years older than me, and I was told that I couldn't talk to her because she was older than me, and nobody older than me would ever want to talk to me because I wouldn't know anything. And I don't know where that information came from, but it stuck with me that I used to think that if somebody was older than me, that I was stupid or I couldn't talk to these people. I mean, it was pretty intense. And then I started to analyze the situation like I always do. And I started to notice that age means absolutely nothing. In fact, it's not even a reality. Just like my body is not a reality. Your body is not a reality. Nothing here is real. So my point to the age situation is I see so many people who have that opinion about age. Like, you have to be a certain age to do something. You have to be a certain age to know something. And let me tell you how wrong that is. Have you ever met anyone maybe 20 or 30 years your senior and doesn't know anything? Unless you're the type of person to go through some challenging experiences, which challenges helps you to grow, then you won't sit back and try to see how you can change your life to be happier. And how some of these messages that have been plastered all over the world that everyone's grown up with are false information. Now, I know why they're false. I've mentioned it before, and I'm not going to mention it again. But you know that we did come to this planet with no memory. And then there's people like me who know things, and there's people who are like me who know more than I know. But we all have different experiences. It doesn't make it any different. It doesn't mean that they know more than I do because they're older than me, because most of them are not. It has nothing to do with age. Age is a temporary situation. If you really want to get into age, you want to get into your soul age. Because we don't die. We leave this body and go back into our spirit form, which is our true form. That's our true form. This being human is not your true form. It's a temporary form. So you could meet somebody and, I don't know, they could be 10 years younger than you. And you have an attraction for that person. You're drawn to that person because you've already know that person from a previous lifetime. In that lifetime, was that person older than you, even though they're younger than you now? For sure they were. That's how it is. That's why it's your soul growth. If I'm 60 on Earth years, but my soul is probably a couple 100,000 years old, for how many times I've been on the planet, how much I've grown, how much I've learned. And this is why people come to the planet. And, you know, there's people who sing at the age of 2, or there's people that can play the piano at the age of 3. And that's because they brought over their abilities that they have done so many times before that it's perfected. And that's why it's so easy for them. So you can learn from a 2-year-old. You can learn from a 5-year-old. And let me tell you, the new children that are coming to the planet now are coming here with a lot more memory. And there's a lot of YouTube videos that show little children teaching adults things that they don't know. And why is that? That's because our planet is not staying the same. If you continue to stay the same, then you will continue to be in the wheel, the merry-go-round, the Ferris wheel, the merry-go-round. The Ferris wheel goes round and round. You need to get off that wheel. So you can ask yourself, all the things that you read and all the things that you've studied that are negative, are you happy? Are you blissful? Are you abundant? Are you emotional? Are you depressed? Are you sad? Why are you? Because you operate from erroneous negative beliefs. You can date anybody you want. You can be 10 years older, 10 years younger, 15 years older. It doesn't matter, because no two people on this planet are the same. You don't know anything about anybody else's soul. All you know is that you're attracted to a certain person. And then all the ego comes in, which to me, ego is Satan. If you want to think about Satan, that's what ego is. Ego is not your friend. Ego tells you to do things and to think a certain way that are not in your best interest. So, you can learn anything in this lifetime. I know people who are 30 years older than me and still have not changed 1 inch of their life. They don't know anything different than they knew when they were in grade school, because they haven't been geared or led or care to look at life through a different viewpoint. Now, I just happen to be a person who receives a lot of information, and I can actually see the error of the ways. That's what I do. I didn't go to school to learn any of this. You can't learn this stuff in school. Maybe eventually, school will be about the truth instead of about lies. But think about how people think about age. And then you start to judge. Now, I did put a meme in front of this video. And if you didn't read it, I would suggest you please read it. Now, the writing is small, and I'm sorry about that. But the message is so, so powerful. So, I just want to help you help yourself. You can just start looking at people and analyzing people's different ages and seeing what they know versus what they don't know. So many people have stuff ingrained in them that they refuse. They downright refuse to change what they think. And those people who refuse because they're afraid to. Because there's only love or fear on this planet. If you happen to date someone that's younger than you, you're going to fear what other people think of you. You're going to worry about what other people think. Does it really matter what other people think? Everyone who walks the planet is you, and everybody who has an opinion has an opinion. It doesn't have to be your opinion. But when you love yourself, you don't get involved with all of this negativity, because judgments don't mean a thing to you. Other people's ideas don't mean anything, because the only person who matters is you, your life, your thoughts, what you believe, not what other people think, not what other people say about you. There was a time I used to get upset about what people say about me, and trust me, people talk about me all the time. And it doesn't even affect me. There was a time it would affect me sometimes for 3 months. I would be depressed and upset. I would wake up with negative thoughts. If you wake up with negative thoughts, you're going to do the same thing. And it just amazes me how people have this whole attitude like, ugh, he's a child. And actually, my ex-husband is 24 years younger than me. My mom disowned me because I married somebody 24 years younger than me. It's kind of funny. People talk all the time. Men, they have the biggest issue. All through our lives, men have dated younger women, and it's okay. But if a woman dates a younger man, she's labeled a cougar. And now people walk around and go, oh, she's a cougar. And then cougar doesn't mean that you're interested in someone for their soul, for their knowledge, for their strength. No, it has to be about sex. Must be about sex. All of this stuff is a joke to me. But in any case, we ended up getting a divorce, and it had nothing at all to do with an age difference. Because we were married 12 years. There was never any age difference. This is a person who's very mature for his age. He's very loving, very kind, very knowledgeable, So I just only wanted to share how age is just a number. Here's another situation. I happened to go to a past life psychic at one time, who I asked her what my relationship was with some guy that I was dating from a past. Because when you meet people from your past life, they they tell you that you seem so familiar, like I've known you all my life. And you both feel the same, whether one of them says it or not. But in any case, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we had 3 past lives together. Now, in this particular life, we were, I guess, pretty much the same age. But in a past, we've been together. I was his boss. And that was in Atlantis. There was another time he was my father. That's the reason why our relationship didn't last. Because our energy was father-daughter, because he was also my brother, sister. And when you meet someone from a past that you feel connected to, and they're on that type of energy, past life energy, you can't have a relationship that goes to a higher level. But my point is not about that. My point is, at one time he was my father, and now he was my boyfriend. So in this lifetime, he's the same age, but in another lifetime, he was supposedly gave birth to me through my mother. I mean, do you see what's going on here? These are reality. And don't ask yourself, or you might be asking yourself, well, how could she know that? How can you prove that? You can prove a lot of things just by taking the time to talk to somebody who you think is too young for you, and see how intelligent people are, no matter what their age is, no matter what they've learned, whether they've gone to college. All of these things are erroneous thoughts. So the next time you see a video or see a person, see a child, why don't you treat that child as your equal? Now, my mom taught me as not an equal. I was just a child, and I was never going to be someone to talk to, and because my sister was more important than me, but my sister was always going to be older than me. So, do you know, in my mind, it's like, well, I'm never going to be the same age as my sister, so I guess I'm never going to talk to my mother, so I never had a relationship with her after that. No, I've had a relationship with my mother since she's passed. Because when she passed, she didn't have all of those erroneous beliefs. She was back into the truth of life. And not only that, my mother has reincarnated. My mother is now, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. Now, if I ran into my mother, I mean, in the past, most people didn't come back in the same lifetime. It has happened, but so now I'm old enough to be her grandmother. Do you see how erroneous age is? It's just a number that has been ticking away. Now, what's going to happen when we come to a time where, and this is going to happen sometime in the future, where you will be able to stay in your human body for 1,000 or 2,000 years? Will you age every year? No, because age is not even real. Age is part of the destructive plan. Because when you believe that age is a number, then all of a sudden you're getting old. You can't have children because you're too old. You can't go to the gym because you're too old. You can't play football after a certain age because you're too old. Do you see where age has screwed up so many people? Why do you think football players are playing past their so-called age? To show people that thought is wrong. You are your own creator. You can do whatever you want to do. Do I look like I'm almost 70 years old? No, because I don't believe in age. You know, they tell you you're going to lose your memory. Well, guess what? People are losing their memory at the age of 4 and 5. Does that mean they have some illness? No, everything is a higher plan. If you find yourself walking in a hallway or having a conversation with someone and you forget what you were just talking about, it's because you need to tap more into your intuition. That's all it is. Everything is a reason, but everything is a positive reason when it comes off of what you've learned on this planet, because everything you learn on this planet is negative. It's all negative. It's all fear-based thoughts. If you want to not age, tell yourself you're young. Every birthday, I go back a year. I'm not going forward in time. I'm going back. And you can do the same thing. Because eventually we're all going to go back to 30 and never go past that number. And age is just going to disappear because it's not real. You can build muscle at the age of 94 if you want to. You can run a marathon at the age of 103 if you want to. You can do whatever you want to do. It all comes from your mind. So don't fall into the age syndrome and that it means so much. And so many people are afraid of getting older because then they're going to die. That's just the next step. That is not the next step. And you all hold on to this place like it means so much. If you really want to believe in hell, until this planet completely ascends, you live in hell right now. If you want to be happy, if you want to be free, if you want to wake up every day feeling love yourself. Say positive things and erase negative programming, such as age means so much when it means absolutely nothing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Please share my video if you know someone who it could help. And like it, I would really appreciate it. Leave me comments. And you can always contact me and ask me questions through my email, which is listed on the video, maxine@spiritualhealersassociation.com. I hope you all have a very blessed day, and thanks for joining.